Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's day. Begin the second of the month of June. We gather on another hot day out there, but hopefully after today, it's going to be just a little bit better. So glad you could join me for our time together. If you want to submit me any Father's Day pictures, email them to me, whatever works for you. I'm working on it right now, just about done. So any additional pictures, though, are welcome. If you'd like to send me any pictures of fathers, brothers, uncles, whatever works. So you're welcome to do that. And then we'll gather for worship. An interesting verse, and I think I have an interesting take on this as we live, and all the struggles that we go through. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds. Now, that feels like an oxymoron to consider this when we have trials, that we should consider it pure joy. Now, when we think about trials, we think about probably circumstances that haven't gone our way. Our car breaks down, we lose our job, we're ill, trees get knocked down because crisis, whatever it is. We often think of those things, dealing with disappointment. We mourn tragedy in our families. We're frustrated, and we're trying to figure out how to steward the frustration to get us on the other side. Many trials that we know about, right, cause hurt and angst and confusion. All of those are valid, and we think of those things, and I don't know about you, but I wonder what the right could possibly mean for us. How in the world could we find joy in the midst of trials of many kinds? I think that's just a really tough thing to do. But then I got to thinking about all the things in our lives, not just the trials, but there are other kinds of trials that we don't give attention to. Success, wealth, getting exactly what we want as much as we want is a trial. Because then we have to figure out what it is we're going to do with these things in our lives, these trials. How do we steward our wealth? How do we steward our good fortune? How do we steward and manage and share our success with other people? Will we bless others with our resources? Will we help God and the church with our resources? Or will we hoard them, for our own power and control and success? Just because, something makes us feel good, it doesn't mean it's a trial. It's not a trial. Because you see, everything we face in life is an opportunity. It's an opportunity. Every single thing we face in life is an opportunity. We can squander it, or we can succeed in it. We can be in the valleys or the plains or the low places or the mountains, and all of those things then summon us, encourage us to then make choices. So we have in our lives, we know trials, but we also have in our lives what I like to call, and have called and continue to call, mountaintop experiences. So for all of us, as James writes this very short verse for us, all of us have to choose. How are we going to steward all the things in our lives? I think this, for me, has been the point of our daily word all these times, all these days. I think today is number 548 or something. When I first started, I just wanted, to hold us together in some kind of way. Get us through what I thought, and you probably thought, a couple weeks, a few weeks. It's turned into this long time. But then, for me, what this has turned to, I hope, is the thought, the perception that the Word, Scripture, teaches us. I mean, it says that it admonishes us, that it gives us the way to live. And my hope was that in every day that we might get a nugget or two, or every other day, depending on where you're at, that then we might grab a hold of, and that it might be, as James calls it, when we face trials of many kinds, that we would have this resource inside of us that would then teach us how to react, that would help us, to react in healthy, Christian, loving, patient, kind, generous kind of ways. And I think that's what the Scripture, it's what it means for me. We have trials of all kinds, good and bad. All of life is filled with them. And for me, the question remains, how do we react? How do we use our successes and our disappointments? How to use our wealth and our lack of wealth? How do we use our valley experiences and our mountaintop experiences? All those things. How do they help us to live holistic, whole, good lives in the midst of the world? Because I think that's really what we're called to, and really why I continue to do this every day. It's not just for you, of course, it's for me as well. I need these constant reminders. I'm facing now the disappointment of realizing that I am where I am physically. And it may not change. It may not get better. I may be where I am for however long I have on this earth. And that's a disappointment. That's a struggle. I talked to one of my therapists about it today. But then the question remains, as I've said, okay, so what's God trying to teach me about this? How am I going to react about it? What am I going to do about it? How's it going to affect my life? Am I going to be bitter and angry, or am I going to use it to learn and to teach and to grow in new ways? I think, maybe God's reminding me that I'm 58, and I should stop thinking I'm going to go back to 38 and begin to think about life a little differently. But for all of us, James reminds us, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds. The trial, for me, for us, is the joy to face the results that are in front of us that have the potential to affect eternity and all of those around us. And so I would pray that you and I could take stock in all of that. And I hope that, in these 548 days of being together, that you've gotten one nugget from it that has helped you in the midst of facing trials, and that has helped you in your response to them. Because that's what I want for you and I, and that's what the Word is for us. This guiding force, I hope, that helps us to be followers of Christ, to be people of the way. So that's my word for the day. Hopefully tomorrow I'm going to be at the lake. I'm going to be at my place at the lake, and so if I am, you'll see me from my porch there at the lake at 10 a.m. Have a great day. Keep cool again today. Know of God's love that surrounds you in all of your life. Know of my love for you, and I'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Have a great day.